Good morning, and welcome to Simply Brilliant. I'm Phil Brilliant. It is Thursday, May 14th. I got that right. And a little gloomy day here in Toms River. I'm going to jump right in, however, because I do have a lot I want to talk about. And I will say that I was not at the Toms River Council meeting last night, which once again was a show. It is really sad. Toms River is so much better than this. And I really hope, I know Daniel Rodrick has supporters out there, but I really hope people see him for who he really is. And I'm going to talk about a couple items today, but man, if you listen, and I had the opportunity last night when I got home, I was at the Girl Scouts of the Jersey Shore Women of Distinction event. Uh, they had some honorees. It was a beautiful event. So missed the meeting, but came home and listened to it, and the under the breath conversations, the snide remarks, the nasty words, it's just uncalled for. And it just this is Tom's River is better than the Daniel Roderick administration, period. Just end there and we need to move on. A couple things I want to hit upon, and I'm going to jump into some hot topics. I've been getting a lot of text messages and a lot of questions, and I don't have a lot of answers. One, budget hearing was last night. It was a resolution was passed at council meeting 2 meetings ago. It was scheduled for May 13th. Not only is it still on the agenda for May 13th, nobody says a word last night. It just doesn't happen. They skip over it. I mean, I didn't hear anything when I listened to the recording. I asked a couple people, not a word said. So we have no budget in Toms River for 2026. We have no confirmed date for a budget hearing. I haven't gone back and looked. And again, I'm not an attorney, didn't stay at a Holiday Express last night, didn't play one on TV, all my jokes. But joking aside, they didn't pass a resolution last night to establish a budget hearing. So I got to look into it and see what all that means. The audit, the auditor didn't make a presentation. Every year, the auditor comes out and makes a presentation on the audit. Again, it's somewhat vanilla because they're really just reviewing Tom's River's documents, but the law firm gets up there. That's what they get paid for. They give a little presentation, they talk about the numbers. Last night, it was just a resolution. Councilman Bianchini asked a question, which was a valid question relative to, you know, why is there 3.8 million dollars in added money that was expended in 2025 that we need to account for in 2026 in our budget? Daniel Roderick started going off and answering the question. Dorothy Gallagher, the CFO, got up and said, "Hey, you had a payout on a lawsuit. You had the absentee payouts, which is basically, if you remember last year, there was a need for additional money because they didn't account for retirements of police officers. They knew they were coming. They didn't account for them. We're not going to go back up that tree, but that's what it was. Good question. And then it passed. I mean, there's no presentation. You have no idea about the numbers. This is Tom's River tax dollars. I wish I was there. I had a lot of questions, but it wasn't even opened up to the public to ask questions, which I didn't quite understand. That usually happens also. And because if you notice, it's not in the consent agenda, it's separate. And the council rules say you can ask questions, the January 1st council rules. So a lot of things like that, not quite sure what happened. Um, and then, and I'm going to share my screen. By the way, if you guys don't like me sharing my screen, let me know. So sharing my screen, and you have a new agenda is provided as everybody gets into the room. And this ordinance, first reading, number 8, is not on the original agenda. And it is a ordinance that basically changes chapter 71 to eliminate health benefits for members of the Toms River Municipal Utilities Authority. Again, first and foremost, I will tell you I am on the Toms River Municipal Utilities Authority. I am a commissioner. I do benefit from the health benefits. I have talked about it all the time. I didn't know I got them when I agreed to be appointed. I was told take them because you're stupid not to. I've done all those things. Retrospect, I've learned a lot relative to that, and maybe that wasn't the best decision. But let's talk about this. So this is a resolution. This is an ordinance on the agenda that council president did not know about. So let's go. This is the rules passed on January 1st of 2025. And I want to pull up, here they are. Sorry. I'm moving through. I should have highlighted this for you better. And oh God, my mouse is not, but I will find it. But what it says is, for an ordinance to be put on the agenda, it must go to the council president and be approved by the council president. And once it's approved by the council, prior to council, oh, I'll find it in a second. But also, just to be clear, even though I didn't find it there immediately, you know, if we look at the township code, and I'm going to move this over. So here's the township code. This is section 5.8. The agenda for each regular meeting, the council shall be prepared by the clerk, yada, yada. The agenda must be approved prior to the meeting by either the council president or 4 members of the Toms River Council, except for emergency matters, that's not an emergency, which may have been added to the agenda at any time for approval with the approval of the council president. So again, Council President Davis Cozy clearly states he didn't know this was on the agenda. He didn't approve for it to be on the agenda. Now, they tabled it indefinitely last night. I would tell you, I think it should have never come up at all, because it's not part and wasn't approved by the council president before the agenda. But it was, and that's there. Now, what I want to show you also, and I apologize, I'm ducking because my desk is not appropriately lined up here and I can't read the top. I got a lot of things up there. So let me find this. But when I show you, because Daniel Rodrick in his comments makes a couple comments, and one of his comments is that we have all right to do this because the council and the mayor and the town set the salaries of those people at the MUA. Okay. Now, I will tell you that is incorrect. And I apologize. I'm trying to find it. Okay, got it. I'm good. Go. Okay. So, couple things, and we'll start sharing this again now that I have what I need in order. I do apologize. I should have been better prepared this morning. So this is the Toms River Township Ordinance establishing salary ranges for supervisory. So this is the code. This is 147. This is an ordinance that was passed. It looks like this is 2022. Okay. Now, if you look here, these are all code enforcement, deputy enforcement, emergency, general, and these are all Toms River employee salaries. It gives you the ranges. Okay. This is with the supervisory employees, talks about longevity. And it goes in and, this is turn the wrong way. We'll turn it the right way now. We'll get it going right for you all to see. That's not it. But what my point is here is that, I don't know why I can't turn it. Here we go. There's nothing on here that is salaries from the Municipal Utilities Authority. These are all positions of Toms River Township, and this is a police. I apologize, all upside down, but you get my point. This is for township employees, and I want to show you, here is the statute. And again, I'm not an attorney. Here's the statute that forms the Municipal Utilities Authority. Okay, it goes back to, I think, 1949. I have to go back and look exact date. It does say in here, it says organization of the authority. There is hereby, authority may consist of 5 members appointed by council. Each member receive compensation not to exceed $2,000 for a year of service, However, in the event that any member is or shall also be appointed an officer, in addition to such $2,000. So it's five. There's also two alternates that are right here, and the alternates shall serve also. Clear and distinct powers and separate from the Toms River Township. So when the mayor says that the salaries are based upon Toms River Township ordinances, that is not true. Okay. But I also want to show you, and I think it's important because I think we continue to watch council members not follow the rules. And if you look right here, conflicts of council members, and Councilman Coleman last night votes on this ordinance and says he has all right to, even though his stepson is on the Toms River MUA and is a commissioner. No member of town council shall vote upon or participate in discussions, deliberations, resolutions where a family member is associated with the subject matter. It is clear. He says he can vote. It is clear in the rules that he cannot. Okay. Not only is it clear in the rules, but let's look at the state statute. The state statute has a provision, and it clearly states right here, no local government officer, a member of his immediate family or business association has a direct or indirect financial or personal involvement that might reasonably be expected to impair his, Coleman. Now, Aber, I believe, could vote because only his son works at the MUA, but he abstains. Coleman clearly needs to abstain. That is something that needs to be further addressed, and hopefully someone does take action and further address that. That's where we are in the MUA. To be continued. We'll see where that all ends up. Last night also, the council approved a ordinance on the vehicle of Mayor Rodrick. We do know he drives it back and forth to Irvington. He says he doesn't, by the way, which he puts on the record says he doesn't. But let's look at this. This is the ordinance that was approved last night. He says they can't do it. He says I'm not violating anything. And you see right here, it's 2310 of the Toms River Code. So let's look at 2310 of the Toms River Code. Except in the case of police, fire, and first aid emergencies, no township vehicle shall be driven, operated, or used outside of the geographical boundaries of Toms River, except as necessary to effectively travel between township locales, traveling in his official business. And it does say right here, Mayor, adopted by council for a separate resolution, as applied to, the mayor shall establish written policies which shall be approved by council. Okay. Now, there were some additional policies that were approved by council back in 2025. So let's look at them. Okay. This was the resolution that was passed. It basically says that they're going to change the policy and the policy procedure. Okay. And here's the change, because see, this is dated August of 2025. And we want to look at this, and there's a lot of contradictions in here, and that's the problem. When things are written by attorneys, they don't always make sense. But let's look at this clearly, because this is where the mayor is standing on. Okay, talks about official use, very clear, doing business, definition of official use and official business. The following list of officials and employees to whom this policy applies will authorize subordinate employees to take vehicles home and utilize them on a regular basis, are authorized to utilize any township vehicle for personal use on a daily basis. And it includes the mayor. So it basically says he can use the vehicle for personal use. Let's go down. Let's go down. As we go down, it says here, except in cases of police, fire, first aid, no township vehicle shall be driven, operated, or used outside the geographic area, except as necessary to effectually travel between township locales in the Barrier Islands or for official business traveling to and from work shall not be considered official business. So it is somewhat contradictory, but also clear. The mayor can use his vehicle for personal use. It cannot leave the town, and you can't drive it to and from work. Pretty clear. This is the mayor's words in the mayor's policy that was from August of 2025. A little contradictory, but if you piece it out, it does seem to be clear. What the new ordinance did was it clearly stated that what official business is, and it says travel between an employee's or employer's official residence and their primary place of work with the township vehicle is not official business. No municipal vehicle may be used to commute to any Toms River Township non-Toms River Township employment. Okay. Does it really matter? Are we spending a lot of time in this? Because at the end of the day, he's going to veto it. But we did it. Let him go veto it. Last thing I want to hit upon. So last night, though I haven't seen it yet because the feed got cut once again as public comment was turning on. It turned the bill part. There was an argument about a bill for Shore Media. Basically, Rodrick saying you got to pay, that service is rendered. It's advertising. We pay for advertising. We pay for advertising. So I want to show you. This is a Shore Media bill. This is paid on September 24th, 2025. It is coded as advertising and marketing. I will agree with the fact if a service is provided under contract and there is no contract, make that clear. But you can be under $53,000 for professional services and these types of services. Okay. It says advertising and marketing. This is the PO. It references invoices. Let's look at the actual Shore Media invoice. It says advertising and marketing. Media consulting services for Toms River Township to include press releases, creation, consulting, social media news, release, posting, publishing to Shore News Network. Services includes news, I don't even know what this is, aggregator apps, social media platforms. Nowhere here does it say production of advertising. Okay, I'm not crazy. Let's look at another one. Here's all these invoices. This is everything he got paid in 2025, I believe. Let's look at this one here. Is that the same one I just opened? Okay, no, here's more invoices. Again, it says advertising, but there's no advertising. So you say to me, well, that's the way they do the invoice. Well, guess what? Let's look at, this is Metro Media. This is Toms River Times that got attacked last night and shouldn't have got attacked last night. I think the article, which I'll show you in a second, was a great article. Full page ad colorization invoice. Okay, that's the PO. Let's look at the actual invoice for one full page to run in Toms River on, and here's the dates. That is advertising. That's an invoice that shows advertising. This is consulting BS. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Okay. By the way, this is a full page ad, $5,000, 5 different ads. This is 1, 2, 3 months of consulting for 10 grand. It's clear and simple. I think that the argument made by the council, though maybe not 100% clear and concise, is valid. The invoices from Shore News Network is not for advertising, though it may be coded that way. Last but not least, I want to show you, this is Toms River Times. I would say that this headline, shooting guns and doing shots planned at same site, okay, isn't really about what the article's about, but it probably gets you to read it. Here, superintendent gets raised despite budget issues. Now you want to go in and read it. Okay. This is front page. If you read this article, and I tell you to read this article, Toms River Times is available online. You can no longer get it in any Toms River buildings, but you can get it at Wawa. No Wawas pay for this advertisement. If you read the article, it is fact upon fact. It is good investigative reporting. It goes through what Mark Mutter said at the last council meeting. It goes through comparable sites in New Jersey. It goes through public safety concerns, and it does provide, for lack of a better term, Mayor Rodrick quotes, "I don't have a problem with the shooting range," and referred to Mutter as a pretty liberal Republican who doesn't like guns. Who cares? And then says, when asked specifically about the combination of alcohol and firearms, Rodrick said, "You have my comments. Stop trying to drag me into something with a has been who never will be, who never will be." This is a continuation of the rhetoric that is taking Toms River down. And it's starting from the top. And it needs to be stopped. This is not about bad reporting. This is not about people exaggerating the words of the mayor. You can hear his words. Watch the video. Listen to him. I made notes last night, of things, he says, basically lies. This one's a liar. You lie like a rug. You're an idiot. This is out of the mayor of Toms River. 100,000 almost residents. We deserve better. I apologize for some of my back and forth this morning. There was a lot to do, and I trying to a little rush for time today. I apologize. Hopefully you got the point. If not, reach out to me at simplybrilliant.tomsriver@gmail.com. Email me all the time. Sunday morning, Beach Radio, 9 a.m. I have Paul Holtz. He is the CEO of Just Believe. They help the unhoused here in Toms River and Ocean County. He'll be my guest. I'll be back next Tuesday. Hopefully I'll have some more answers for you. Have a fantastic day.